We now have a quorum. Everybody should have your folder. If not, I know this is not customary for us to be in here, but this was the only room we could get. First of all, I want you to look through as we go. We're going to take up Senate Bill 373 first, but you have the bridge namings, resolutions, and road naming resolutions, or excuse me, dedications here in your folder. You can look through them as we go through 373, and if you have any questions, we'll take them up after we get through with SB 373. Any questions at this time? Chair hearing none, I'm going to allow Chairwoman Sheldon now to talk about the substitute to 373. Does everybody have that in your folder? You should. If you don't, actually, Chairwoman Sheldon, if you don't mind, hold on. Chairman Wilkerson's here today. He's got an amendment to 373, and I'm kind of going to go out of order, but I want to give him an opportunity to present his amendment first, in case he has to leave. If there's any questions, you can talk to him. I'll actually be offering his amendment in the committee, but I wanted him to have a chance to come by and speak to us today on it. So, Chairman Wilkerson, you should be on.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee. I appreciate the opportunity. This is, I'm just trying to clarify something that there's been a great deal of confusion about in the general aviation community. As you know, I used to fly. Still interested in general aviation particularly, but what has happened is there's been so much misinformation and confusion by local authorities who appoint members to commissions or to the authorities. It could be county commissioner, mayor, whatever. And in some cases, a commissioner wanted to appoint a person, an airport tenant, to the local commission, and was told it's against Georgia law. Well, it's not, and the law is silent. And this is just basically saying that notwithstanding any provision contained in local law, tenants of public airports shall be eligible for membership on an airport authority or commission. It's no mandate. It's just it just clarifies it, says they're eligible, because in many cases they bring a much better perspective. And as a matter of fact, Mr. Chairman, for example, right now, the Toccoa-Stevens County Airport Authority has 2 tenants. Douglas Municipal Airport Commission has 1. The Donaldsonville Municipal Airport Commission has 4. And the Atlanta Regional Airport Commission has 1. And there was concern that they would be dismissed, and they shouldn't be. Again, the law is silent. Thank you.
We've looked into it as well, and right now, Chairman Wilkerson is correct. The law is silent, but we're just trying to put something in statute so that if anybody has any dispute, they'll be able to go back and look at it and see that this is allowed. Do I have any questions for Chairman Wilkerson? Representative Gardner, is that you?
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. I'm trying to figure out where this goes. It says,
I don't have it.
But deleting line 99, but we don't have 9. Is it a different line?
Is a substitute. I mean, amended the original bill.
Am I looking at
It originates
It.
Am I looking at 243S?
Yes. We're gonna have to. When we take up the amendment, we'll have to adjust it to the lines because it is amending the original bill and not the substitute that you have in your folder.
It seems that what Representative Wilkerson is saying makes sense. I just don't know where it goes.
Yeah, we're going to have to change the line on there. But is there any questions for Chairman Wilkerson regarding this? Chair hearing none. Okay, thank you, Chairman Wilkerson. You can leave. I mean, you're welcome to stay, but if you... I can understand. Thank you, Chairman Wilkerson. Okay, Chairwoman Sheldon.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Today, I bring before you Senate Bill 373. I know we've had some interested parties have met over the past couple of days and came up with some solutions, hopefully, to address some of the concerns we heard in committee the other day. Basically, would just continue to allow for, or I guess the goal of this language bill is to encourage handicap or wheelchair accessible taxi cabs, but also at the same time protecting the current medallion process. But this would allow vehicles or cabs that are handicapped accessible, may be able to pick up a client and take them outside of their jurisdiction, and while they're outside their jurisdiction, they would be allowed to pick up an able-bodied or just anyone to bring them back into the jurisdiction. And so basically now they would have a decal that the county or municipal corporation would give them, and the regulations or ordinance would fall upon that county or municipality of where the vehicle is for hire.
Okay, any questions from any of the committee members on the sub that we have before us? We have already, okay, hold on. Let's see. Is that Chairman Davis? Chairman Davis.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'd just like to be recognized for an amendment at the proper time.
Okay. Any other questions or comments concerning the legislation? We took testimony and all on this legislation the other day, so I'm not going to allow testimony from the audience today. So what is the pleasure of the committee on the substitute to SB 373? Do I hear a motion? Well, we're going to take up the amendment in a minute. We have a motion in a second. Okay. Chairman Davis, on your amendment.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like for the amendment to strike lines 54 through 56, dealing with the local governing authority posting it on their websites.
Okay, Chairman Davis has moved to amend the substitute to 373 by striking lines 54 through 56. Any questions or discussions? I'm sorry, 54 through 56. I'll give everybody an opportunity to look at the bill and make sure. What number are you representing, Garner? Or punch your button. Okay.
Why you would want to take that out? It seems that it would be very helpful to people with disabilities.
Chairman Davis?
It just seems like an additional hurdle for the local governing authority to make sure that they monitor this, that it's on all their media outlets and whatnot. So I don't think we do this for any other service that's provided or any other industry. This is a private industry. The bill's focusing on access for wheelchair-bound people. I don't think it's really a need for the county to advertise for these different companies that do that. We don't do it for any other companies and any other services.
Hamilton.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just want to clarify with the author of the amendment. So your reason for this is that you think it's use of public property or dollars to advertise? Is that? I just want to clarify the real purpose of that. Okay, thank you.
Chairman Dollar? You had, okay. All right, so on the gentleman's motion that we strike lines 54 through 56 and number accordingly, is that your motion? On his motion, do I hear a move? Have a motion, do I have a second? Have a second. All those in favor of Chairman Davis's motion, let it know by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. Okay. Now, to take up the amendment that was explained by Chairman Wilkerson. Hold on, I'm sorry, who's 17? Did you have a Representative Geisinger?
Mr. Chairman, that will not prohibit anybody from putting it online if they so choose in a county vote.
That's correct. It doesn't prohibit them, it just doesn't mandate.
Doesn't require them to do it.
That's correct.
Thank you.
Well,
Okay. On the amendment that Chairman Wilkerson explained, if any of you were not here and you have any questions, you should have that in your folder, AM 390020. I know a couple of you walked in late. This was actually a bill that was in Chairman Hamilton's committee, and it was in there too late for him to be able to take action on it this year. Chairman Hamilton brought it to me as well as Chairman Wilkerson to try to help put it in some legislation for him, and this was the vehicle where it applied to. So the amendment is actually numbered. It's going to be numbered wrong because he had it according to the original bill and not the substitute. So we will have to, let me make sure I can read this right too. We will delete, actually, right. Let's see, instead of by deleting line 13 and replacing it in lieu of, it will actually be by deleting line 15 and replacing in lieu of thereof the following. Is that correct?
deleting line 13.
Hold on one second. You know, I'm trying to operate this thing up here as well as,
Yes, I can. Would you like for me to do that for you
yeah,
today?
why don't you handle that,
I'll take care of
Chairwoman?
that.
17. Representative Anderson? No, 17. I'm talking about Representative Geisinger.
My only question, Mr. Chairman, is it germane to the subject that we're dealing with?
I believe that it is within the same code section. We have actually talked to Legislative Council about it, and they said that it was okay. Who is that?
12.
$1. Okay. Hold on. I'm going to get this worked out.
Uh-oh. Who's 6?
Click quick.
Oh.
6, right there. Click on it. Chairman Benton.
To determine where the first part of the amendment goes, when you just put that on line 13 after the word repeal.
You're talking about on line 12 after automatic repeal?
No, I'm not looking at 13.
I'm not sure. Who's 15?
It's right after, actually, Chairman Benton, it's right after, it's on line 12, because if you see that repeal has a semicolon, if you look at the original bill, that's where she intended for it to go after the repeal with the semicolon.
All right.
So the amendment will, after repeal on line 12, you will insert the following language. Actually, I strike that. After the word automatic, repeal goes in and replaces what you see there at the top. Repeal to amend Chapter 80 of Title 36 and so forth on line 12. And then on your amendment where line 7 is, by deleting line 99, it would go, it would start after line 77 on on your, it'll be a new section. Yes, Chairman Davis?
Am I on?
You're on.
Yeah. I think you just delete line 79 and insert there, sir, respectively.
Okay. All right. Does everybody have
I have a question.
it correctly?
I'm not left-handed.
You got we're trying to work this, y'all. We apologize.
Is your number on? Okay.
Like maybe we need to make this the new section 2.
That's what Chairman Davis.
Was that what it said?
Yes, ma'am.
But then we have the new section 3.
Yes. So section 3 becomes section 4,
Yeah.
correct?
No. This will be section 3 because it's
Same
on the
thing,
amendment.
Same thing, okay.
Okay, does everybody have where the amendment will fit in the substitute at? I do apologize for this amendment not being correct as far as the line placement. It was drawn according to the original bill and not the sub. And so any questions on the amendment AM 390020?
15.
Who is 15? Chairman Hamilton.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I wasn't here when Chairman Wilkinson stated what he did. I just want to bring forth some information that had been provided. I know this is an affirmative or an affirmation that they're able to serve. There are currently 8 different tenants on 4 different airport commissions and authorities that we're just simply trying to allow them to be codified that they have the ability to serve. And so I just wanted, there are real people in those positions right now.
Thank you. And for those that just got here, y'all didn't hear Chairman Wilkerson's presentation, but he did talk about those. But thank you, Chairman Hamilton, for bringing it up to those that come in. Any other questions on the Chairman Davis?
You're on.
Thank you. I was wondering if GDOT made a comment on this or where we're at with, I mean, are we going to be, these airports are getting a lot of federal dollars through the FAA, or are we doing anything that violates any federal code or anything like that that could jeopardize some of our airport aid money?
Stephanie, with GDOT. Come up to the mic. You got to be on TV. No, come on up. I'm gonna make you come to the podium, all the way to the front, right here. You can stand right there with.
I'm sorry, I had the podium. That'll take me a second.
Go
Well,
ahead.
I don't know of any actual federal law that would specifically say you cannot have a tenant on your aviation authority board. There are very specific items that we have to meet, or criteria that we have to meet when we do get those federal dollars, that say that there was no person weighing in on that, on us awarding a contract or anything like that, that may have benefited financially from that decision. And so you would potentially jeopardize some of those federal funding by allowing a tenant to be on your airport authority, and we have serious reservations about that.
Well, can I ask you then, why do we currently have one on the Atlanta Airport Authority?
I did not realize that we did.
So in other words, we currently have, what was it, Chairman Hamilton?
Yes, we currently have 8 different people serving in 4 different authorities and commissions. We have 2 tenants serving on the Toccoa-Stevens Airport Authority. We have 1 on the Douglas Municipal Airport Commission. We have 4 in the Donaldsonville Municipal Airport, and 1 on the Atlanta Regional Airport Commission.
All right.
And I was not aware of that, but in speaking with Ms. Comer at DOT, she had very serious concerns about our federal funding.
Well, I will say that this bill, as it travels, will have to be back for an agree or disagree with the Senate, and I'm sensitive to Chairman Wilkerson's what he's trying to do here. So I want to allow it to take place today, but if there are some serious questions, please get back with us as we move forward, and we'll make sure okay, and we'll make sure we address it. Chairman Hamilton?
Yes, and I think the way I read it, it's just, all we're saying is they shall be eligible. I mean, they're currently serving right now, so if there's a problem, we'd certainly like to hear what that eligibility does to restrict any federal funds.
Absolutely. Chairman Hamilton. Chairman Davis, you still punched over there? You through for now?
Somebody's over here. I don't know if that.
Who's over here?
Anybody, one of you?
No, okay, that's nothing, okay. All right, so we have before us AM 390020. Do I hear a motion on the amendment? I have a motion. I have a second. Any further discussion? Chairman Dollar? Okay. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? All right, amendment passes. On final passage of the substitute to SB 373 as amended by the House.
Chairman Dollar.
Chairman Dollar.
Mr. Chairman, we said that in regards to the Davis amendment that we passed out, that would not preclude them from offering that information on a website or anything, correct?
That's correct.
Because in looking at this, I didn't know if other members would have be more comfortable if they were slightly in favor of it, as to reinstating the language in line 54 and 55, striking the word shall and the words in a prominent location to read just that a local governing authority may post such information on a website. I'd like to offer that in the form of an amendment, just to put it out there to see if people would be more comfortable with that.
Okay. Wait. State it one more time.
We're basically, essentially just reinstating the language that we struck with the Davis Amendment and striking the word shall and put may. And then striking the words in a prominent location.
Okay, so your amendment is to reinstate the language that Chairman Davis's amendment took out, and on line 54, strike the word shall, replace it with may, and then on line 54, strike the words in a prominent location. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, on Chairman Dollar's motion, do I have a second? Have a second. Any further discussion? Chairman Davis. 1 second. All right, go ahead now.
Mr. Chairman, I think that's permissive enough.
Okay. All right, so I have a motion to have a second. Any other further discussion? Chair hearing none. All those in favor of the Dollar amendment signify by saying aye. All those opposed? All right. So, back to the motion. We've had a motion and we've had a second on SB 373, the substitute as amended by the House. All those in favor signify by saying aye. All those opposed? SB substitute as amended by the House passes on to the Rules Committee. Now, you got to turn you on.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Chairman and members of the committee.
Thank you, Chairwoman Sheldon. All right. Now, on Senate Resolution 843, which is the Senate's version of our House version of the road dedications, bridge dedications, and intersection dedications. Does anyone have any problems with any of the amendments that you see within your folder? What we're doing is we're adding these resolutions to the Senate version as we do every year, and they do the same to ours. Those that didn't make it in time to get in the House version is there any discussion on any of these? Representative Baker, you got any questions? No, I mean, do you have any, before I move forward, you got any questions? I mean, you.
You like to share?
Okay. I just want to make sure before we move forward. Everyone has had these in front of you since you got here today. So do I hear a motion to amend Senate Resolution 843 with the other resolutions that you have before you in your folder? I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Chair hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye. All those opposed, of course, there are none for these. I appreciate your service and thank you for being here today. We're adjourned.